house of transformation and living foundation, and that is if you have Capricorn rising. If Capricorn is on your first house, then this is for you, because that means that a Saturn is moving into your fourth house where Aries sits. All right, so the fourth house in the star number system is the house of transformation and living foundation. And this is where you examine the ground you stand on and whether it's carrying you towards the future that you actually want. So the fourth house is very much about your future and how you see your future and how you perceive your future and how you actually move towards your future. And it's associated with Uranus and the number 4, which is about invention, individuality, healing, clearing the clutter, hard work, and the future and freedom. So your foundation is here. Your foundation here is like, you should see it as a living dynamic foundation, and that is both if it's your inner foundation or your outer foundation. So what you want to do with the number 4 is really build solidly something, and you really do value steadiness and structure, and you work really hard, but at the same time you hold it all with open hands, because a real security is openness. And it is the willingness to let the old foundation crack sometimes when there's a truer one trying to emerge. And I think there's a huge difference in the way that I see the houses according to the star number system. But I'm just staying true to this download that I have received, the messages I have received. And so if you want to know more about the house system and what each house means, then I have a PDF you can get for free if you sign up for my newsletter, so you are welcome to do that. There's a link for that in the description on this channel. Yes, but basically the fourth house is still about your foundation, but it's also about your future, and it's also about transformation and being willing to transform. So that is a way to look at the fourth house, and that is really the arena that we are operating now within when we look at Saturn in the fourth house. So for Capricorn rising, Aries has then always been your natural and always will be your natural tool, like your toolbox. Like a toolbox to use in this arena of your life. But that means that you have like this passion and fire to clear and rebuild and take initiative on your foundation. You're willing to tear it all up if that is needed, even though you actually maybe prefer the steadiness of the solid foundation. But if it's important for your future, important for one or another reason, then you're willing to change. And there you have this bravery and the boldness, and you just have your passion that can be put into this area of your life. And it also means that you have this passion and boldness that you can use towards initiating things towards your future, which is actually super cool for you when you are Capricorn rising. And so Saturn is then entering this area of your life, and that is actually what is new for you, because the other is just how you work, you could say. But Saturn is then the area that represents structure, leadership, discipline, long-term growth, and your relationship with time, which is now coming in to meet this Aries passion and fire, you could say. And so over the coming years, this transit brings something deeply grounding to you, because your foundation work becomes serious and structured and long-term. So when you look towards your future, you have an approach that is structured and like real proper long-term vision. It's serious. It's like, okay, you wanna crystallize something. You want something to come into and become very clear for you. And there might be some clearing and rebuilding that has to take place, and that is kind of your nature, how you, that you're not afraid to rebuild and clear and do what it takes. That is kind of how you anyway work, but now you want to do it in order for something to endure, in order for something to like stay for the long term, right? And so you might find yourself drawn to things that takes more time than, so it's not just done and dusted in a matter of a short time. You can see yourself working towards something on the long haul, and that might be inner work that you're doing, like on your own psychology, or what makes you feel grounded and like you have a solid foundation within yourself. Or it can also be the outer physical work, like it can be your home, that you might be ready to overhaul it, and if you're renovating or if you're building something, that you're building it on a real foundation. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow, but you take consistent action towards it. And you might want to invest yourself into projects that are really something that you can see you're doing for the future. And so that means that it doesn't matter if you're inner work, outer work, like have this tool that is full of courage and bravery and passion, and that is now combined with this long-term vision and patience and proper crystallization of something that you want to see take shape. But what happens here with the number 98 is that 9 plus 8 is 17. So there's actually an intermediate number in the 98, and that is 17, and that means that it's the energy of inspired creation. So you are bringing your dreams and inner visions into form through bold self-expression that is also generous, because the number 1 in the 17 is about, it's also about giving. And you are expressing yourself and you're giving freely into the world. So whatever it is that you're now about to crystallize and spend a long, have some more patience and leadership and structure around with this Saturn energy, it has to be rooted in a dream that you have, or an inner vision, and something that actually brings you out on stage, like brings you out to give freely. And so in your 4th house, that would mean that your dream of you might have a dream of a foundation or a future or something like that you want to create for the future. What is it that you see your future as in relation to your foundation? What foundation do you want to build up that is structured and real? And that has to come from, it has to be based on a dream that you have. It has to be, it's not somebody else's dream, it's your dream, it's your idea of what is the right thing for you. So that is really beautiful. Yeah. And then, so the resulting energy is 8, of course, and that is when Saturn meets this Aries-driven place in your chart of your foundation and your future, and your own individuality, you could say, then what happens now is that something needs to crystallize in that area of your life. Something needs to take shape. And so it's no longer gonna be, you're no longer gonna have dreams that are just dreams. You are seeing that a dream has to become real through taking action on it. You are used to taking bold action. Now you have to take bold and consistent action. And that is, then you will build your dream foundation for the future. And you'll feel this confidence, and you'll be showing up as a leader that has done the work. And then I have here an affirmation on the slide. You can take a picture if you will, but I'll just read it out loud. I welcome structure and long-term vision into the work of building my foundation. I have always known how to clear the clutter, or clear the clutter, to work hard and to rebuild. But I now let my inner vision shape what I'm building for the long run. I commit, I show the way, and I feel deep clarity and confidence knowing that the ground I'm building is real, true, and meant to endure. That's it for Capricorn Rising. I just want to have the last word here is that just to remind you about this architecture of Saturn in Aries, is that Saturn is of course the area of this long-term building, structure and leadership, while Aries is the tool to apply to that area, and that is the tool of being courageous and persistent in taking action and having some passion and drive. And so then when you apply this passion and drive and being courageous to this structure building and to your leadership, then what you end up with is crystallization and clarity and confidence. And so your dreams are then ready to take form that is lasting, and you have the courage to give them shape, and the clarity and confidence will meet you on the other side. So I hope that is helpful for you, and like and subscribe if you will, and don't if you don't, and then I will maybe see you again. Thank you. Bye. So welcome over the next many years from 2025 to 2028. Saturn is moving through Aries, and I am going to talk to you today about how this transit affects each of you in according to your rising sign. Depending on where Aries sits in your chart, it will have an influence on your energy that Saturn has now moved into this area of your chart. But first, I can say that I'm talking from the star number system, which is my own system, It's not really my own. It's a system that I have received during meditation over the last about 3 years. And it's kind of like a new way of interpreting astrology and numerology and so on. It's like a mix of the two. So let me take you through this transit using this system that I have received. So I won't take the credit for it, actually. That's probably too much. So between 2025 and 2028, Saturn moves through Aries in the... Oh, let me just do this so I can better see. So between 2025 and 2028, Saturn moves through Aries. And in the star number system, Saturn is the area of life that holds your structure, your leadership, ambition, consistency, discipline, and long-term growth. And also, of course, overall, it's also your relationship with time. So this is where you build things that lasts, where you commit for the long haul, and where you become steady and dependable as a leader, so that and a leader that others can lean on. So this is Saturn, which is the number 8. And then Aries, I look at Aries as the tool that will be used in this area of life. So Aries as a tool carries the energy of the number 9, which is courage, determination, persistence, stamina, compassion, and unstoppable drive to show the way by doing. It is really truly an area of life where we have a lot of drive, but also where it's not by telling people what is right and what is wrong, but really showing by doing. And so Aries is a fire sign, you could say. So it is also about taking action and initiating. So it's brave and self-reliant and confident. And when you use Aries as a tool, you will then lead by example, and you will take action with purpose and on your purpose, and you will move forward with conviction. So bringing these two energies together in the star number system, that brings about the number 98. So if we then follow this numerological journey, then 9 plus 8 is 17. And 17 we reduce again, because we can say 1 plus 7 is 8. And so the resulting energy is 8. And that takes us back to the kind of the Saturn energy itself. And that is the thing about being in Aries, that it kind of returns its original energy to itself, but it actually goes through another energy in the process. So it adds another element. And so that return to the number 8 then is resulting in what we can say is crystallization. It's things taking shape, it's clarity, it's becoming tough in a new way, because you've gone through kind of like a crystal. It takes a lot of pressure for a crystal to become a beautiful crystal, and in the same way we become tough when we go through things. And it is also about showing the way, inspiring others. It's about feeling confident, determined, and also it is highly connected. The number 8 is highly connected to being successful as well. So there is this intermediate number 17, and that is what makes number 98 so interesting, because it's not just that you have the area of life, the number 8, and then with this way of working with that, which is the 9. No, there's another energy in between, which is 17, before you actually get to the result. And 17 has therefore its own meaning in this journey from 9 to 8 to 8. And so 17 is the energy of inspired creation. So it's about bringing your dreams and inner vision into form through bold expression, self-expression, you could say. The intermediate number 17 has its own meaning along this journey from 9 to 8 and 98 to 8. And 17 is the energy of inspired creation. It's basically about bringing your dreams and inner vision into form through bold self-expression. So when you act with courage on this work that is, you can say, the work that you're doing, which is where you're in it for the long haul in a way. When you act with courage on that work, then because 8 is about taking steady, taking consistent action. It's about consistency and keep moving on something. It's like compounding, if you've ever heard of that. And so that is just putting in the work day in and day out. But when you act on courage with that, but also have this element of, you have to remember what is your dreams and what is your inner vision, at the same time as you have to also use your self-expression and truly put yourself into it, something that you're excited about. Then you're kind of bringing together this stretch where your dreams and visions are taking visible form, and they do that through this brave and persistent creation. So from there you then end up with the number 8 again, and that is, as I mentioned before, it's this crystallization and clarity, and also inner confidence. the confidence that you gain from taking the steps and daring to really be brave, and also putting yourself out there. And it also, in this case, daring to do it through your own, through putting yourself out there. So this is a powerful combination. And Saturn is really the area for this long-term building. It's about structure and leadership, while Aries is the tool of being courageous and being also persistent in the action. It kind of have a similarity there with Saturn, right? There is a persistence and determination in both the number 8 and 9. And then the resulting energy is that when you then do this right, when you kind of do what the energy is asking you to do, then you kind of bravely commit to building something real and show up day after day with this discipline. And also at the same time, you remember that it has to resonate with your dreams and wishes, and you have to in some way self-express. Then you will end up with this deep clarity and confidence. So that is, you could say, it's even like this way of having earned satisfaction, knowing that your work is taking shape over time, right? So you slowly see the progress. And so in this transit, when Saturn is in Aries, then that is then impacting everybody, because everybody has Aries somewhere in their chart, and Saturn is the energy that is then moving through these areas of our lives and brings in this energy and a collaboration between the Aries tool and the area of Saturn. And so we will all feel this shift towards courageous, disciplined building, and also towards leadership that steps forward and leads by example and demonstrate what is possible through consistent, brave action. So over these next 3 years, many people will feel that growing urge to commit to some long-term project, and something that actually truly matters, something that is grounded in a personal dream perhaps, or a personal vision even. And so bring something that truly matters about, right? Get it into 3D reality, not just having it as a dream in the ether forever. Maybe it's something that has been considered for a long time, but that you haven't really been daring to take action on. And now here comes this Aries energy and says, you have to be courageous. Now go do it. And put yourself out there in a way, right? And so then in that way, you will enable your dream to take a real, tangible, lasting shape, right? That's really what's in the mix over these next 3 years. So it's super exciting. It is really an exciting period and super, super cool with Saturn in Aries. So we can really move forward and on our dreams and wishes, you could say. So the key message then is of Saturn in Aries is through this star number system, that you are willing to commit with courage, and whatever it is that you're committing to with courage will then crystallize and take shape and come into being. So that is a super big promise, and that is of course something that you have to kind of bring with you now and feel like, oh wow, this is actually an amazing power. So what do I really want to commit to and be bold about, and what do I really want to see crystallize? If you could choose something specific in your life that in 3 years from now, and by the time Saturn leaves Aries, that you can see that you have made this dream real. What dream would that be? And then find the courage within yourself to go for it. That is really the message here. So being bold is not just about having the spark and having this idea and a good intention and I'll do it tomorrow. No, it's actually about being bold enough to take action today, and being bold enough to take action every day, so it becomes a structure you put in place for yourself and thereby crystallize it. So be brave enough to start and persistent enough to keep going. That is really what is gonna make your dreams come true over the next 3 years, and depending on when you listen to this, over the years to come. And this is, of course, an energy you will have with you forever, because you've been through this energy, so you'll know how to do it, how to be persistent and keep going. Okay, and then you have to trust that when you lead through a consistent, courageous action, that you will build something that is real and lasting. And that in that way, that is the cool thing about Aries, is that when you really use this idea of Aries, like when you use the energy of the 9, which is Aries, then you actually, you are showing the way. You do give others a permission slip to be just as cool as you. Okay, so so the formula is this. So Aries is 9 and Saturn is 8, and so that in the star number system, that is 98, which reduces to 17, which reduces to 8. And so the tool is the way you should act. If you bring out your toolbox, then this tool now is to be courageous, persistent, determined, and take action towards something that you're passionate about. And then in this area of life, you should do that in the area that is connected to your structure, your leadership, your discipline, long-term growth. And so when you do that, and also remember that in between, remember to put your dream into whatever it is you want to grow long-term. And then when you do that, then you will end up with something that is crystallized, it's clear, it's confident, it's real, it's tangible, and you are showing the way. All right, so in the coming sections, then we go through each of the houses, because it affects everybody a little bit differently depending on their rising sign. A rising sign, Aries, is always in your specific house. It doesn't change houses. Like let's say your Aries rising, then Aries is always going to be your first house. And so that's the tool you have available to maneuver with your first house, and then Pisces in your second house, for instance. So that is always the natural tool for that house setting, for your specific rising sign. But and remember that for that area of your life that we're going to go through now, then there's a fire and courage and directness in that arena of your life. So, and that is part of how you operate, or how you at least ought to operate, how you should operate. And so what is new, what is actually the only new thing for you now, is that the energy of Saturn is coming into this arena. And that means that suddenly this arena of your life is being presented with this Saturn energy, which is structure and discipline and long-term vision. But in the fact that it comes into the Aries part, it gives it lights up this energy that is different from when it goes into other areas, right? Saturn is not equal in all sign. It doesn't act in the same way in every sign it goes into, because it triggers something specific. And here, for instance, it triggers that you not only have the long-term vision of Saturn and the drive and passion and directness of Aries. No, the two combined gives this magical influence of 17, which is also about tapping into your dream and putting yourself out there, taking the stage a little bit, right? And yeah, so that is kind of what is going to be new in your specific area of your life in that way. So let's go through it. Let's start with Aries then. In the house